Hi everybody and welcome to Heel Heat. My name is George Coles, and on this episode we're doing a top 10. Topic of the top 10? Top 10 surprise Royal Rumble entrants for 2023. And I'm actually lying just a bit. This is actually going to be two top 5s. I'm going to have 5 men, 5 women. We're going to alternate between the two. So together, it's going to add up to 10. With that being said, let's jump right in. Number 5 on the men's side, Tyler Breeze. I think Tyler Breeze is the kind of wrestler that would get that pop from the crowd that love the guy, that wanted to see him do better, that love his work either in NXT or with the Fashion Police. He's a perfect surprise entrant that doesn't need to do anything special. He could just come in, get a nice ovation from the crowd, get eliminated rather quickly, make a good spot there. I think also there's rumors of Tyler working back with the company, so having him here might be a way to bring him back in the stories. I'm a fan of Tyler Breeze. I thought that he was underused in the WWE once he was called up to the main roster, and I'd love to see him get a shot here. I'd love to see him get that moment. Now going from that, our number 5 on the women's side. This one probably be ranked a little bit higher, but I think the timing is why it's ranked lower, and that's Mandy Rose. I know we're only just a few weeks away from her being fired, so her being brought in for a Royal Rumble spot, I don't know that would be such a shock to a lot of wrestling fans. Let's face it, there's a lot of people that may not even know that she's fired. They just don't see her on NXT, and it's only been a couple weeks. So the surprise factor of it, I don't think would be there, which is why it puts it a little bit lower on the list. I'd absolutely love to see them backtrack on firing her, because I think it was totally unfair. Matter of fact, I made a video about it, about her getting fired. I think she should definitely be in this match. I think she should definitely have not got fired. I don't think the surprise factor is just not there, to be honest with you. If we're talking about the 2024 Rumble and she's gone all that time, then yeah, it would be a big surprise to bring her out. Right now, I don't think it is so much. We're going from that, our number 4 on the men's side, Nick Aldis. I don't know that this would get a great pop from the crowd, but it'd be a great way to bring a guy in and have him start and have him have a good run. Maybe he comes in at 3 or 4, lasts to the last 4 or 5 competitors, has a couple strong eliminations, shows what he could do, shows why he's special. This would be a good way to introduce a wrestler to this crowd. There'd be enough fans in attendance that would know who he was, that the buzz would carry over with him. Again, it's probably lower because I don't think much like I said with Mandy, for the non-internet fans or the just WWE fans that haven't watched NWA or even Impact when he was there, they're not going to know who he is. So for someone like me, or probably you, this would be an awesome moment for most of the fans out there. They might not even know who the guy is, to be honest with you. But I think it would be a cool way to introduce him, introduce a new character like him, make him kind of be the antithesis of Cody Rhodes, or Cody is the All-American, Aldis is the British guy. They kind of have a very similar style and gear in that way. They've had amazing matches in the past, so it's a built-in rivalry that could be there. Maybe Cody eliminates him, and that's Cody Rhodes' feud leading into WrestleMania, whether Cody wins a Rumble or not. But it would be kind of a cool thing to see Nick Aldis debut here, and that's more for my own liking than it's probably not going to happen, but I'd love to see it. And they'll go from that, our number 4 on the women's side, Billie Kay. I'd love to see both of the Iconics back in WWE. I think their act is perfectly made for WWE. Currently, Peyton Royce is pregnant, which congratulations. But Billie, I think, could stand on her own. I think when they split them up, she had some really good stuff going, especially the stuff she was doing with the Riot Squad and handing out her 8x10s. I think she's such a great character, and I think she's a good wrestler. I really enjoy everything about her. I love the Iconics. I think they were amazing. Their act, to me, was always entertaining, and that's what you want to see. Yes, they're not the greatest wrestlers in the women's division, but they are entertainers. And I love to see Billie Kay make a comeback here, get one last run in the WWE, and hopefully one day Peyton Royce come back as well. It would be cool if Billie starts back And then a year down the road, when Peyton's ready to come back, Peyton helps Billy Kay out of a situation. We get the reunion of the Iconics. I think it would be awesome. But going from that, our number 3, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and this is on the men's side. I mentioned this when I talked about them allowing Carl Anderson to work in New Japan. What would WWE ask for in return? A spot like this, much like Aldis, though, I don't know that a lot of the crowd would know him, but for the wrestling fans, they know who Tanahashi is. And for New Japan, Tanahashi's kind of taken a back seat, and he's not as prevalent as he was in past years. They could easily let him go to the Royal Rumble, even though it may be on a night that they have a show, because as of right now, he's not figured in any of the title pictures, so it would make sense for a guy like him to show up here. I'd love to see it happen. I'd love to see some kind of relationship develop between New Japan and the WWE. And yes, I know the WWE has a lot of crazy rumors going around here. We're ignoring that all for the sake of this video. But I think this would be a great way to show, okay, you guys let us borrow Carl Anderson, here's Tanahashi back. Kind of be an awesome way to start an open relationship between the two. It'd be a great thing if, in my opinion. Now going from that, our number 3 on the women's side, Brandy Rose. Now I know a lot of people don't like Brandy Rhodes, and she's very polarizing. I always kind of enjoyed her. Yeah, some of the stuff, the Nightmare Collective, was a little bit weird, a little bit pointless, but I think she's a good wrestler. Again, much like I said with Billy Kay, I don't think she's the greatest wrestler in the world, but she has a presence and she has a character. I'd love to see her in that WWE environment. I feel like her character is more suited for WWE than it ever was for AEW, and WWE never let her have a chance to become a wrestler. They wanted her to stay as an announcer. I'd love to see it here, even if it's only for a momentary thing, just for this one spot. I'd love to see Brandy make at least one appearance in the WWE ring as a wrestler. I think she deserves it, and I think it'd be kind of cool to see her out there. Now going from that, our number 2 on the men's side, we just talked about his wife, Cody Rhodes. I touched on him a bit when I was talking about Nick Aldis a bit ago, and it's almost certain, especially with the vignettes they've been running, that Cody Rhodes is going to be coming back at the Royal Rumble. I think it's pretty obvious. I think he's one of the people that's marked to be one of the top guys in the Rumble, top choices to win it. It's either going to be him or somebody else that we're going to talk about here in a minute. But I think this is a perfect situation. We've seen it before where John Cena's come back from injury at the Royal Rumble. Other wrestlers have come back from injury and made a surprise appearance. This wouldn't be so much of a surprise because of the vignettes. It's kind of obvious that he's coming back now, but I'd still love to see it. I love Cody Rhodes. I'm a big fan of his. Now going from Cody, our number 2 on the women's side, a returning legend. And I know a lot of people aren't going to consider her a legend. I know she's, again, polarizing. Nikki Bella. I think this is a perfect spot for someone like Nikki Bella to come in and do one appearance and then go back to doing whatever she was doing. She's made herself a star outside of wrestling. She has a new game show somewhere. I don't know what it is or what it's called. I've seen the commercials. But I think she's someone that is going to bring star power, brings a believability. You can believe that Nikki Bella could win this because she's been a dominant wrestler at times. And she'd be someone that the fans would definitely pop for. It's been a little while since we've seen her, so it'd be fun to see her back. I'd like to see Brie as well, but I think we have a better chance of Nikki showing up with Brie Bella's husband working in AEW. Not saying that would preclude Brie Bella from showing up, just saying that I think we have a better shot of Nikki showing than Brie showing. Now, before we get into our number 1, if you've seen my show before, we do have a little thing here called the best of the rest. It's basically people that were considered for the list but didn't quite make it. First up on the men's side, Santino Marella. Again, much like I said with Tyler Breeze, Santino's the perfect guy, almost even a little bit better in some cases, to be that comic spot in the middle of the Rumble, to give everybody a little laugh. He could come in and do the Cobra, he could get eliminated by a big monster and get thrown out really quickly, whether that be Lashley or Drew McIntyre or someone of that nature, just tossing him away like he's nothing. Maybe one of the new debuting stars or someone like a Braun Breaker coming up could throw him out and make him one of the many people they threw out of the match. I think it'd be funny. I think Santino, I've always enjoyed him. I know a lot of people don't like comedy wrestling, but to me, I think there's a spot, and one of the spots that it works the best is the Royal Rumble. Now, the best of the rest on the women's side, Jordynne Grace. I thought about putting her on the list, but I couldn't quite justify it. Again, much like I said with Aldis and Tanahashi, do the WWE fans know her? I know last year we had Mickie James coming in, and she was the Impact World Champion. Jordynne Grace is right now, or Jordynne Grace is a big star in Impact. I'd love to see them. This is kind of the thing that they used to do in the 90s. They would have other people come in. There were wrestlers that came in from IWA in Puerto Rico. There were wrestlers that came in from New Japan. Wrestlers that came in from USWA and would be part of the Royal Rumble because it was a surprise. It'd be kind of cool for WWE to keep going year after year and having one member from Impact come up every year. That'd be my opinion. I think it'd be really cool. I don't know that they would do it just because I don't think she has that same name value that Mickie James had, but it still would be a cool spot in my opinion. Now, before I get into the number ones, if you think I left someone off the list, put someone too high, someone too low, let me know what you think down here in the comments. Number one on the men's side, if you smell what The Rock is cooking. And I know that was a terrible Rock impersonation. Again, much like Cody Rhodes, The Rock is on the very short list of people that could win the Royal Rumble, mostly for the match between Roman Reigns and The Rock. It's been long rumored that that's going to happen at this WrestleMania. I could easily see The Rock coming in 28, 29, 30, having 4 or 5 people in the ring, eliminating all 4 of them or all 5 of them, and winning the match, basically to set up a who's the real head of the table kind of situation. It could even possibly get down to a fact where it's maybe Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, Solo Sikoa, and The Rock, and they're all kind of looking at him like, this is one of the family members, what do we do? When they look, he kind of throws them all out. I think it'd be, if you're going to do the Roman Reigns versus The Rock match, I do think it has to happen this year. It's the perfect time. The Rock is only going to get older, and unfortunately, as we've seen from his last few appearances, he's very injury prone at this point. He's got injured each of his last few matches that he's done. So if we want to see it, I think this is the year to see it. If they're not going to go with Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, they're definitely going to go with The Rock versus Roman Reigns, and I think this would be a great spot for him. Now, going from that, our number one on the women's side, Naomi. I'd love to see Sasha Banks possibly come back, especially, like I said, with the New Japan thing, help build a bridge between the two companies. But realistically, I don't think she's going to. I do think it's more realistic to have a multi-time women's champion, a woman who's still in the prime of her career, a woman that left the last time she was in the company as a champion, as half of the women's tag team champions, a woman that all the fans love, someone that they could get behind and even would be okay with winning the match. I'd love to see Naomi make her return here. Heck, I'd even love to see her win the thing. I think she's severely underrated, and she's kind of put on the back burner to people like Sasha, Becky Lynch, Bayley, Charlotte Flair. They get a lot more of the attention over the last few years than Naomi did. But Naomi is right up there with him. She's probably one of the better athletes in the whole women's division that they've had. She's right up there with like Bianca Belair or Rhea Ripley, who are amazing athletes as well. Saul Roca, who's on NXT right now, is another amazing athlete. I think Naomi's athleticism, her genuine likability, her pedigree of being a former champion, I think that would make for her to be a perfect entrant in the match. A great surprise, something that the fans would love to see. I don't think there's a WWE fan out there that wouldn't love to see Naomi back in the company, myself included. I love to see Naomi wrestle again because I think she's awesome. I'd love to just see it. I think it'd be a great spot here. Now, with that being said, again, if you think I left someone off the list, put someone too high, put someone too down too low, let me know here in the comments. While you're there, smash that like button, share the video, subscribe if you haven't. And if you made it all the way to the end, let me know a surprise entrant you would like to see. It doesn't have to be anybody on my list. Could be male or female. You could do one of each if you'd like. But let me know who you'd like to see enter in the Royal Rumble this year. With all that being said, my name is George Coles, and this has been another Heel Heat Top 10.